Now I'm going to talk about the exploration work in the vicinities. It's something that was necessary to add resources to this very interesting project. For that, we continued with exploration work beyond the limits of Giace zone. And besides the targets that already mentioned Nestor, that are satellites to Giace itself, for this we started working in Quevar Norte. That is a gully, it is a canyon, very similar to Quevar Sur, and the geology is very descriptive and basic. Is a series of domes and breccias associated to volcanic stratum that were covered later on by modern volcanoes. All that affected by faulting related to that system, producing a series of blocks that went up and down in the same way that we can see in Giace zone. The stratigraphy basically is what we see here is a series of domes and breccias associated to these domes, and then covered by a series of lava and modern tertiary andesite. Now, this is an image towards the north. We can see the discovery zone of Quevar North, that is to the right of the slide of the rock slide where you can see in the picture, and everything in the zone of the canyon are the domes and breccias overlaying the modern volcanic activities, and the alteration has a strong influence in the location of the ore, of the mineralization, and we have the plan to show the distribution of the alterations. The curiosity is the morphology. We can find this kind of morphology in the alteration. We have fresh rock in the basis of the canyon that evolve to propylitic alteration in the green zone, and the red color zone is a distribution in the advanced argillic zone, with some points that are very much identifiable and characteristic, that are the yellow points, where the baggy silica zones are very strong. These baggy silica zones determine the location of the ore, not exactly the baggy silica itself, because we have two zones of baggy silica. One is baggy silica by itself, sterile, and the other is the baggy silica with a zone of advanced argillic alteration that does have ore in a high degree. But well, we can see here in the image at the right what I'm mentioning. This is the discovery zone where the core drillings were done. There is a fresh rock zone, an argillic zone that takes a planar morphology. And the advanced argillic zones, that's a place where the mineralization is found. An example of the strong argillic alteration to which the domes and the dacitic rocks are subject. The same rock, but this time is fresh rock. The breccia associated to this volcanic. And this is a progressive series on how the edges of the dome are subject to breccia, arriving to this point, a point in which normally you can find the mineralization, specifically in Quevar South and in Quevar North, where we have discovered that it's also altered to advanced argillic zones. This is another Quevar North zone. We are looking at towards the south. Another zone, a potential zone for exploration, has been less drilled, but anyway, it has a great potential because this zone, the complete zone, is very broad, and we see the same sequence of rocks, the young volcanoes overlaying zones of breccias. In the discovery zone, that is the structure called Sharon, we can see the strong advanced argillic alteration, and this is the high-grade zone. We can see, well, all this is the morphology, the planar morphology of the advanced argillic zone. And looking at it after many days working in the zone, you can see all those tubes that are morphologically tube-like shapes that were interpreted as being used by acid fluids to escape and leach the rock. Those created the permeability, the secondary permeability of the rock that received the mineralization. In turn, this is one of the chutes, one of the ore chutes that was drilled, and even though we are at a very basic exploration stage, this zone only received 4 core drills, and 3 of them intercepted high grades. So that could, as a principle, lead us to define an ore chute with more than 1 kilo of silver, 1% of copper, and credits for antimonium and zinc. The geological model we might define for the whole Kevar up this moment is parental intrusion that is related or is affecting domes and breccias related to volcano stratum. This intrusion has produced a listric faulting system. The listric faulting system has been the way for the fluids to escape that then generated the relocation of the ore. Normally, the mineralization has been found between the 4,000 and 5,000 meters. And based on this geological model, we can see the distribution of the alteration and its mineralization. We can see why the bagicelic areas are sterile, because they have been located over the zone of phreatic that at its moment facilitated the deposit in the same baggy zones, the deposit of the ore together with the advanced argillic alteration. Well, we have to say that all this, the success of the discovery and now the transit to a stage of becoming a mine has been possible thanks to a team, the successful exploration. Thank you very much.